the long-haired macdaddy is raising taxes on farmers and the small business people because he really hates small business people. He hates small business people. I mean, Trudeau actually hates to death small business workers, owners. He said small business are just a way to hide money. Uh, I mean, that's just how much he knows about the real world. Most small business owners are poor as hell. In fact, they're poorer than most people because they use their money to try and, make an ambitious life of themselves. It's the dream to be a big business person. And farmers are no exception. They are small business people, and farms in Canada really aren't doing well. And Trudeau feels it's necessary to just raise taxes on them big time, forgetting about the 1%. And him and his finance minister, Morneau, whatever his name is, I don't know his friggin' name, I call him Moron, is talking about it's a way to end tax loopholes. The thing is the Globe and Mail, which is a pretty stinking newspaper actually, but they had an article out on Facebook, which was very interesting. Someone asked Justin, the long-haired macdaddy of Canada, if indeed he has paid his fair share of taxes, and if whether he's used his trust fund, which was his daddy's, who's another, a short-haired macdaddy, who's used his money to avoid paying taxes and use the laws of the country to help stop paying his fair share of taxes. And he couldn't answer that question. The long-haired macdaddy shows his true macking colors again. That's why I call this mofo the long-haired macdaddy. He macks Canada. And unfortunately, Canada and the Canadian people, many of them stupid as fuck, because they keep voting liberal. And despite all of this stuff that's happening with the liberals, the polls seem to be high, even though I may tend to not believe the polls. But nevertheless, anybody who still supports the liberals at this point, you're a dumb, stupid moron. You are an inferior human being, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. You are a dumbass. You are not worth anything to me, because I say this because you don't like your country. You care more about Trudeau. You probably think, oh, well, he's in your pussy ass mind. You probably think he's cool when he's really not. He's just a fruit cup, fruit cake. I mean, I'm not going to go much further than that. But if you have a prime minister, or, I don't even call him that. I don't think he's worthy of being called a prime minister. I think he's nothing. I don't even think he really won the election. There's been new evidence now that election was actually rigged. I don't even think he's the prime minister. I think he's a fake and a fraud. And his followers are the stupidest pieces of trash to ever walk the planet. They are inferior human beings. And if you don't mind me saying so, Jesus thinks you're an inferior human being too. But if you have a prime minister who is not paying his fair share of taxes, but yet he's raising taxes, not on the 1%, because that's not a big deal. I don't care about the 1%. I care about the small business owners, and I care about the farmers. These are the people who really run this country. These guys are the backbone of Canada. Without small business owners and without farmers, Canada is nothing. It's a dead country without those two people. Dead. Forget the government. Forget healthcare. Forget Tim Hortons. Small business owners, farmers. Without them, Canada is nothing. They are the backbone of this country. You break your backbone, you're nothing. And yet he's raising taxes on the most vulnerable people, because I mean, if you're a small business owner, you're a farmer, you're working hard, you're spending a lot of money to keep your business up, you're vulnerable. But yet he being a rich, lazy ass bum who's not done a hard day's work in his life until being appointed prime minister. I won't say elected because I don't think he was. I think that election was rigged. It was. Check the evidence out. It was rigged. After he was selected by George Soros to be the prime minister of Canada, that's the only time he's ever done a hard day's work. He's a rich dude living off of his dad's money in a trust fund, and he isn't paying his fair share of taxes. And this lazy bum now who's never done an honest day's work in his life until being appointed prime minister now feels it's moral to raise taxes on small business owners and farmers, who are the most hardworking people on the planet. Farmers and small business owners, they're hard working, very hard, more hardworking than doctors, lawyers, all of y'all. Small business owners and farmers work the hardest, and raising the tax, and this bum, this lazy ass bum who's never done a thing in his life, raises taxes on the smallest people, saying, oh, well, it's a way to shut the tax loophole on the richest people. Small business owners, people who own a little plumbing company or a roofing company or some little grocery store or some farmer in Alberta or something, those guys are not wealthy. I know many small business owners. I am trying to actually become a small business owner. I know many small business owners. Many of them, most of them are just trying to get by. They are very ambitious people, and they're just trying to make it. And Canada, I'll just say this right now, is one of the hardest places to be an ambitious person. If you're an ambitious person and you're Canadian, it's a hard place to live. It's sad, and it's been like that since the late 40s up until now. Liberal socialist policies, red tape, and all that garbage created by people who come from rich families and good backgrounds, but who've never really done an honest day's work in their life. Never. And now they're raising taxes on the two hardest working people ever. So there you go, Justin, the Mac Daddy of Canada, the long-haired Mac Daddy of Canada. And then his little prostitute, pimped out supporters, liberal supporters all over the place are the dumbest human beings on the planet. I have no respect for any. I'm not saying I have no respect for liberal voters, but if you still like Trudeau right now, at this moment, you are a dumb friggin' moron. You are nothing. You are an inferior human being. I think nothing of you. I have more respect for a public toilet that has the residue of diarrhea all over it than you. You're an idiot. You're a moron. You know nothing about politics. You know nothing about the world. You have no respect for yourself, and if I may say so, nobody respects you either. Your family doesn't respect you. Nobody respects you. Not even Trudeau respects you, because he knows what he's doing is stupid. He doesn't pay his fair share of taxes. He didn't say he didn't come out and say it, but for him to be asked a very simple question, do you pay your fair share, and for him not to be able to answer that question, to me that says he doesn't pay his fair share. So he doesn't pay his fair share of taxes, but he raises taxes on small business owners and farmers. Now people might say, well, Trump may not have paid his fair share. You know what the difference is? He's trying to lower taxes. He's trying to lower, and I actually agree with Trump. He shouldn't have to pay his fair share because, and you know what? If Trudeau was a conservative, I would agree with him too. Why would anyone want to pay taxes to the government of Canada when they're just using that money to go help other countries, and they're using that money to give refugees free laptops, free college tuition, and free dental care, and using that money to give illegal aliens who broke the damn law free shelter? Why would anyone want to pay I would do my very best to make sure I could legally avoid paying my fair share of taxes. I would agree with that. But if you come and be prime minister and then you say, well, I'm going to raise taxes on small business owners and farmers, I'm going to raise taxes on them high, but I'm not going to do, and what's worse, I'm not going to do anything to the 1%, my buddies who support the liberals, because Do people say that the richest people support conservatives? No, it's liberals they now support. They used to support the progressive conservatives when they were all about the wealthy. Conservatives are the grassroots of the country now. So they support the liberals. But if you come in there and you don't pay your fair share, but then you raise taxes on everybody and then say it's to make sure that people pay their fair share, you're a scumbag. You are a piece of crap. You are nothing. And if you support someone like that, you are a piece of dirt, inferior nobody.